Each year, a student is chosen from among the graduates to deliver the valedictory address. The graduate is chosen based on achievement and how they have lived out the core principles of Lasallian education. The valedictory address is meant to inspire the graduating class as they turn toward the future, to reach for higher ideals and put what they have learned at St. Mary's into action. Lucas Manuel Scheibe has been chosen valedictorian. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucas Manuel Scheibe.
Welcome, Board of Trustees, Mr. Puck, administration, faculty, parents, and the class of 2020. These are interesting, crazy, liminal, and, well, they're weird times. I don't think anyone expected graduation to go like this. I know that I did not think that my senior year would end like this. Countless A blocks and C blocks, hectic finals day cram sessions, and rushing from Hopkins and Solano's to make it back before that 5-minute bell dared ring. Mr. Banks stopping me thinking I was in trouble, only for him to tell me I looked like that one guy from that one 80s movie, and then just to say, "Get back to class." Of TCAL and NCS dreams, and musical Hell Week mayhem, and dashing to Mr. Summers for a tie because this day of all days was a liturgy day. Lazing on the grass, typing away an outline due next period, taking a couple of laps around the pool because it's been a long day. It's been a long 4 years, and yet I'm here. We are here, wondering how those days skipped by so effortlessly. This is what graduation is for. A culmination of and a reflection on all these things and more. A stepping stone, a bookend, a genesis. But why did it have to happen like this? And why to us, our class? My family and I were taking our weekly quarantine putts around the neighborhood when we bumped into childhood family friends of ours who had grown up around the corner. The eldest daughter is also a senior, and this question came up as we yelled at each other from across the street. I think I said something like, we were born right after 9/11, just kids as the 2008 financial crisis struck. We entered high school in 2016 during a period of growing social and political polarization, and now we're graduating alongside a worldwide pandemic. Are we cursed or something? It wasn't a question meant to be answered, more of a rhetorical cry out to the universe, but the mother replied something I had never really thought of. She said, "I don't think you're cursed. I think this is what makes your class so special. I think it's exactly why your generation will be the leaders of so much change in the future. We have been through so much, and yet because of it, we stride with compassion, creativity, and perseverance. And it is these attributes that have been fostered at St. Mary's. From integrals to friction to covalent bonds to antitheses, rondejams and monologues and piano solos and 4-part harmonies. French and Spanish give us new tongues to speak with, while past realities are brought alive in our histories. Confirmation bias and System 1 thinking are readily available phrases within our vocabulary, but so are supply and demand, utilitarianism, and the prodigal son. What this community has given to us stretches outside of the classroom beyond words. Our teachers have built and nurtured an environment where ready minds are welcome. And it's not just the teachers. Our leaders include club moderators, coaches, counselors, administrators, brothers, and staff. More often than not, they're also mentors, friends, or just another human being to talk to Take Mr. Atzmon, for example, of buildings and grounds, zooming through on his golf cart to see how I'm doing while maintaining the beauty of our campus. Or Miss Lachman, right down the hall of St. Joe's with a quip and a smile. Valesian IT, or perhaps the welcoming Mr. Thomas, who is always ready to gift you knowledge if you just ask. They too bear our Lasallian values and Panther pride. And, of course, to the students, the lifeblood of St. Mary's. We are some of the most interesting people if you take the time to really get to know us. We each have our own story and our own place. Nowhere is this more evident to me looking out now to the graduating class of 2020. Here I see the start of 134 different paths brought about by a diversity of thought and a diversity of origin. Like Nellie Ann Warner, whose quick wits will grace the halls of Northwestern as she studies psychology, or Leo Tilson, who with kindness and an open heart will be playing basketball at Oberlin this fall, or maybe someone like William Molnar, whose ever-present drive for knowledge directs him towards UC Berkeley to study computer science. And that's only to name a few. I see athletes in this crowd, artists, musicians, journalists, actors, chemists, biologists, and physicists, writers, engineers, sociologists. The list goes on. But while we may all be going in different directions, taking the world by storm, we will all have begun from the same place. We are all imbued with the Lasallian core principles of faith in the presence of God, of concern for the poor and social justice, of respect for all persons, of quality education, and of inclusive community. This class of 2020 makes us so much more than our college or our majors or whatever our next steps may be. Panther pride filled with creativity, compassion, and an endless will to overcome through community and self-betterment. This is us. This is the class of 2020. We as a class, as individuals, as citizens of the world have grown and transformed tremendously in these past 4 years. We were born in chaos, we've lived through it, been educated around it, and yet we are still here. This was not the mountain that we wanted to end on. But we will not be denied our story and our place. Nothing, not even COVID-19, can take that away from us. There are many more challenges to come. And I don't mean this to scare or to frighten you. Quite the opposite. I know that St. Mary's graduates, imbued with the values of De La Salle, are ready to meet them head on. So go out into the world. Vote. Look out for the little guy. Become the scientists, writers, and activists of our generation. Spread justice through love. Find a new community. Build a new community. But also know that you'll always have one right here. Grounded in our shared Lasallian values. Class of 2020. We will spread change. And nobody can stop us. Go get 'em, Panthers.